Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my annual goals video. Now, if you haven't seen a video like this is where I sit down at the start of every year and I look back at the goals that I set myself last year. I always set myself 5 and I have a bit of a chat about them, see if I reached them and achieved them, or if I didn't, and maybe talk about why not. And then I set myself 5 new ones for the new year. So I will leave the playlist of my previous videos down below, and without further ado, let's just jump straight in and have a look at these. So looking at this list, I can see there is a bunch of goals that I didn't achieve, and there's some pretty big reasons for that. So I thought I would just have a little wrap up of my year for you guys if you aren't aware of everything that has happened, because it has been one of the worst, but probably the worst year of my life, and it really affected everything around me and how I was motivated with just doing anything and the big life changes that it brought on. And yeah, I just feel like it's kind of a crucial thing to talk about before I jump into my goals. So if you guys aren't aware, which I'm sure a lot of you actually are, but in April my stepdad actually passed away. So he had been sick for years, and even though he had been sick for years and you kind of thought you were prepared for any time where he might unfortunately be gone, it still was such a shock when we lost him. And obviously, naturally, it flipped our family upside down. Mum was broken, we were all broken, but trying to support each other and still just trying to live our normal lives, because obviously we need to live, we need to eat, we need money, and we need to not all go crazy. So we were all just in this whirlwind of pain, trying to figure it out, trying to be there for each other while trying to support ourselves. And it was really hard, and it still is hard to this day, but right back when it happened, it was definitely the hardest couple of months I've ever had to face. So that brought on one of the biggest changes this year, and that was that me and my sister actually moved in with my mum. And this worked out perfectly because another change that was happening was that Jake was going overseas to work in Canada. So I wasn't going to be living with him anymore, so it was either living by myself or living with my mum. And when she really needed us, and really we needed her too, it was just the perfect solution. So naturally, moving from living essentially by yourself to living with 2 people, it meant that YouTube, social media, just anything else that I was doing apart from working every day and supporting my family just really got put on the back burner. So I did have to drop back to 1 video a week. That is probably another part of why my channel has suffered this year, which I will get into. But yeah, just there were so many changes, and I don't feel bad obviously for not being able to keep up with everything, but it definitely affects your life. It affects everything that you do, and I wasn't even able to prioritize social media over just trying to look after myself and the people around me. So yeah, it really hit us all for a 6 and was not what I was expecting when 2018 started. I didn't know it was going to be the worst year. I was actually so excited for it. I thought it was going to be amazing and amazing things were going to happen, but really there aren't too many positive things to look back on this year, and that's not me being dramatic, that's just me being real. So then of course, as I mentioned briefly, Jake did move overseas to work in Canada and we began long distance. So we've been doing that for over 6 months now. And of course that's going to take a toll on me as well. So at the beginning that was quite easy, and now I guess it's still easy because I'm used to it. But it is just really hard being away from him and missing that person who is just always there for you. Like, I know I have my family and they are there for me, but everyone is going through their own things. So it's nice when you have your person who you know like the back of your hand and you can just rely on for everything, and they can do the same for you. So it has been hard, it's been weird. It's just honestly been such a year, and I hope, fingers crossed, that I don't have to go through another year like this, because it's just too much. Like, I'd just like 2019 to be nice and easy and simple. I don't care if any big things don't happen, just as long as no bad things happen, I will be satisfied. Now, with that being said, I feel like I just blabbed on for ages and that was meant to be a quick wrap up. So the title of this video is definitely going to be 2018 wrap up and 2019 goals now, because I feel like this is like half the video already. But moving on to the goals. Also, as I say a lot in these videos, I think I'm gonna say the word goals like 50 times, because that's just what happens when I'm talking about these things. So Goal number 1, which I'm honestly shocked by when I read this, was to hit 3,000 subscribers. Now, I know that last year, 2017, YouTube was going quite well for me. I was growing quite rapidly. I was doing the 2 uploads a week, which really helps. Sometimes 3, which will definitely boost you, but it's so hard to upkeep. And I know that 3,000 was a bit of a crazy goal that I set myself, but I genuinely thought that if 2018 was a good year, I could have achieved it. And I still think that I could have achieved it, but with everything that happened, it was just not meant to be. So unfortunately, because I had to drop back to 1 video a week, and YouTube was just a mess last year, I don't know what happened, and I barely grew by 100 subscribers, whereas the previous year I grew by nearly 1,000. So it was just a really hard time on YouTube, and there was no way that I was going to hit that 3,000 sub goal. And I will not be setting myself a subscriber goal this year because I just feel like it's not realistic and it's too hard to predict what is going to happen in the future. The second goal is actually Instagram related, and I like how I wrote this because it was a little bit more achievable, and I think if it was a normal year, a good year, I would have achieved this, and I think I'm going to achieve this year. So I'm probably going to kind of goal repeat, sorry about that. But it was to push myself and get back into Instagram, because when you're doing YouTube and Instagram and working like what feels like full time, it's really hard to get inspired and motivated for something like Instagram, where I take pride in everything I post. Well, same with YouTube, I take pride in everything that I post. I want everything to be pretty and satisfying and just really high quality. So I really wanted to do that with Instagram. I wanted to push myself and get into regular posting, and I am actually doing that now, which is really great. As I always say, summer really helps. But yeah, just with the year that I was having, I was never motivated. Definitely the winter blues were bluer than ever, and I just never wanted to take photos of anything. I wasn't even buying new makeup because nothing was exciting me. I just wasn't happy, so it was really hard to be inspired and motivated. And I mean, I hope this isn't a bit of a downer of a video, guys, but you know, 2018 was a pretty bad year for me and so many other people, as I have seen. So I'm just being real with you, and Instagram was just not a priority, and I am not sorry about that, but it was a bit unfortunate. So not only did I not hardly post, I still did a little bit, but I lost followers, if anything, and it just wasn't my place. But this year it's definitely going to be. Now, the third goal is literally just travel. So Jake and I did go camping at the start of the year, and that was amazing. And I think I thought that something like that might happen again, or maybe might go to the snow, or maybe we just might get in an overseas trip before he went to Canada, or maybe I might visit him in Canada. But none of that really happened. Again, I feel like I'm saying it with every time, but with the year that I've had, it just wasn't really on top of the list. The money wasn't really there, the time wasn't there, and I just didn't really want to go on a holiday and be happy when I wasn't really. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, and I definitely do want to travel more this year, but I just think it's hard to make something like that a goal, because Jake's not around at the moment, obviously, and that's the person that I want to travel with. So we will just have to see what happens. Now, moving on to the last 2 goals, I'm excited to talk about these because they're positive and I smashed them and I'm so proud. So the 4th goal was to do more vlogging. Now, I definitely did more vlogging. I feel like because filming like sit down videos was quite hard for me this year, I feel like I just vlogged all the time, and you guys probably got sick of it, but I really thoroughly enjoy vlogging. I find it so much fun, and I love looking back on the memories, and I love just creating a fun video, doing some fun editing when I have time. That's the issue though, I generally leave editing a vlog to the last minute, and I don't have time to make it all pretty and fun, but I really would love to. I think that actually was part of this goal. I just didn't write it down in my list. But yeah, vlogging is good fun. I'm definitely going to continue it into 2018, so I hope you guys do enjoy it. I have my new phone, so the quality is absolutely amazing. And yeah, I'm just glad that I did this because vlogging is fun. It's also something that's a bit easier, even though it's still uncomfortable for me out in the world, but it's easy and it's a good thing to fall back on when I don't have a chance to do a sit down video. And also it is summer right now and it's so hot, so sitting here filming in this beaming sun, it's like nearly 40 degrees, and I have to close my door so the aircon can't get in here. It's definitely very difficult, so I feel like the vlogs may have to become more regular until this heat just dies down, but at the same time I love the heat and I want it to stay. Moving on to the fifth and final goal, and that was to do 5 things out of my comfort zone. Now this was definitely the favorite goal that I set myself, and I was super excited for this. And I thought I would definitely do, you know, like 2 or 3 things, but I thought 5 was pushing it. So I was excited to be pushing myself a little bit. So I'm really happy that although this year was really difficult, I still did manage to do those things. So I'm just going to list off 5. I'm sure there is more. But the first one is I did my very first ever photo shoot. So I did a photo shoot with Oh It's Perfect and NYX Cosmetics. It was at Luna Park with the whole park to ourselves, which was pretty epic. But I had to dress up as a carnival character, so I was a clown. I had to drive to St Kilda because it was just the easiest way getting to St Kilda while dressed up as a clown early in the morning on public transport. It's just like quite a difficult thing, so I pushed myself to drive there, and thank God there was heaps of parks because that's what I really stress about. And yeah, even just the drive there was out of my comfort zone, which might sound crazy to some people, but it is. And then I even just had to walk from my car to the entrance dressed up like a clown. All these people looking at me like, what the hell is this girl doing? And to be honest, I wasn't even bothered. I had so much fun on this day. I met some beautiful girls who made me feel so comfortable and so good. And although it was the scariest thing I've ever done, I was so proud of myself. I definitely could have made my outfit better because all the girls really outshone me, but I was still proud and it was such an exciting thing. I might pop up some photos on the screen if you guys didn't see it, but I love how they came out and I just couldn't believe that that was me and that I did that, and I am just still to this day so proud of myself and really do want to do a bit more modeling, but I'll talk about that later. The next thing out of my comfort zone, which again, with all of these, they're probably going to seem silly to some of you guys who don't suffer with any anxiety issues and stuff like that, but I went on a weekend away with some of my best YouTube friends. So you would think that would be easy, that would be fun, like what would stress you out about that? But the thought of being somewhere so far away, kind of stuck with people, it sounds bad, but stuck with people, and the fear of anything going wrong, the fear of me saying something wrong, doing something wrong, upsetting someone, and then being stuck out there and having everyone mad at me or hate me, it seems so silly. I know it does. But I was really, really anxious for this weekend, and as the days were leading up to it, I was feeling sick, and on the day of leaving, I was feeling sick. And then the moment I got there, it all just washed away. Everyone was so lovely. I was also nervous because there was a bunch of people, maybe just 1 or 2, I don't know, that I was meeting for the first time, and that was kind of terrifying. I'm so bad with meeting new people. I just never know how it's going to end up, and I always worry that people are going to think that I'm a bitch, but really I'm just the shyest little baby ever. So that was also nerve-wracking, but it was the best weekend. Definitely a highlight of my year. Everyone was so great. We had so much fun. Luke and AJ, it's always for their birthday, they do something exciting, and they decided that we would all bring our own like cocktail mix. So we would buy the ingredients for a different cocktail, we all picked different ones, and then every time we had a drink, someone would make their cocktail for everyone. And it was just such a fun idea. It was such a fun weekend. The location we had was perfect. I can't actually remember even where it was, but it was a couple of hours out, and I am so glad that I went through with it, because there were definitely times where I thought, no, I can't do this, I shouldn't go, I should stay home, this is just too scary for me. And then I just thought, no, Allie, what are you talking about? It's like going away with your family. What is there to be afraid of? These people love you and I love them. So I'm so glad that I went. It was such a great experience, and I cannot wait to see what they decide to do this year. Another thing out of my comfort zone was going to VidCon again. So obviously I went last year and it was fine, it was successful, but I was really nervous this year because I had messaged a couple of people that I wanted to meet up with, and I didn't know how they were going to react to me, so that was a bit nerve-wracking. Again, was meeting a whole bunch of new people, was also staying at Luke's without Luke there because he was with AJ, and was just staying with Ben, and Ben and I did really, really get along on the weekend away, but I was like, I don't know if, if that could have just been for the weekend, he might actually hate me. So staying with him and traveling to and from the city, he might just like hate being with just me for 2 days. But it was amazing. I absolutely love Ben. We just click. I feel like he clicks with everyone because he's just so much fun. So shout out to you, Ben, if you ever see this, which you probably won't, but I don't care. Ben Blue, if you guys don't know, I will probably link him below just because he's hilarious. And yeah, he just made me feel so comfortable as well. We had so much fun together and the whole weekend was just so much fun. The group that I hung out with was amazing. I met Megan and she is so much fun. Also have her linked below because you guys just need to give these people love. And yeah, it was such a successful weekend. It was also so much better than VidCon year one, and we really took advantage of everything. We were from panel to panel to panel to panel. No waiting around. I even went to a panel by myself. Hello, another thing out of my comfort zone. And the reason I did that was because everyone was going to AJ's panel, and we all do make an effort to go to all of hers because we're really there for the experience for ourselves, but then, a big part of it is to support AJ. But one of my favorite girls, Sarah's Day, had a panel at the same time and they were next door anyway, so I just popped in there and I'm so glad I did. So that's just kind of a little add-on of something else out of my comfort zone. I also messaged 2 girls called the Mesha Twins, if you guys have heard of them, and I just wanted to meet up with them because I knew they were walking around, and that was really, really great. But of course I was scared of what they were going to think of me, scared that they were going to think I was a crazy fan, but really I just am another creator just like them, and I just wanted to say hello. They were so nice and it was just a great experience. So that whole weekend was just definitely another highlight of my year, and I can't wait to go again next year. The 4th thing I think is a pretty big deal, so I felt like it needed a mention, and that was entering into my long distance relationship. So I'm sure you've all heard long distance relationships are so difficult. So they can go wrong very quickly. Even living interstate can be difficult. So living halfway across the world from each other, it has definitely been testing. So personally, I haven't had too many issues, but Jake has really struggled because I guess he's away from not only me, but also away from his family. But he doesn't want to just give up and come back because he's loving what he's doing, but it must be so hard to be away from someone. And he was also thinking about me and thinking that it was hurting me. So I've just had to reassure him, like, no, I'm okay. So as long as you're okay, but I do want him to be okay as well. So if he was ever struggling too much, then that would be fine. But so far we've gotten through any issues that we have had, which I haven't really publicly spoken about, and I'm not going to because they're personal. But yeah, it has definitely been really hard. So definitely way out of my comfort zone, and never something that I saw myself doing, especially with Jake. Like I just never saw it happening ever. And so I'm really proud that we have come this far. It's actually our 6-year anniversary today, which is really lovely. But yeah, definitely had to mention that one. As for a 5th thing, I cannot think of something off the top of my head right now, but I know I have done so many things this year. I'm literally just dripping in sweat, so I really want to get this video over and done with, and I also think I've already been filming for nearly 25 minutes, so I'm just going to shut up and just call it a day with those goals. So as I said, a really tough year for me. So honestly, I'm surprised that I completed any of those goals. I'm so proud of myself, and I've decided this year that I'm not going to set myself any goals. So this may cause an issue for next year when I want to do this video, but I think I might just do a 2019 wrap up and start doing that instead, unless I come across goals that I really want to set for myself. But really, just a couple of loose goals is to reiterate what I said before, really get back into Instagram because I've changed up what I post. It's more fashion related now, and then just a little bit of my face, and then makeup occasionally, and I'm loving that. I love fashion. I have so much clothes. I have so much content there to post, and I also really want to get a little bit more into modeling. Not necessarily doing it for work. That would be pretty cool, but I don't see myself there yet. But that's definitely something I want to do, and just really smash everything that I do this year. I just want to put my heart and soul into everything, and hopefully there's no hurdles, so I can just have a good year, good experiences, and just be happy, really. So main goal, just to be happy. So that wraps up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was interesting. I hope you learned something. Let me know what goals you set yourself and if you achieve them. Make sure to give this video a massive thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you are new. And of course, click the little notification bell so you don't miss another video. I hope you're all having an absolutely amazing day, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.